Most people believe that the path to a better life is about adding more discipline, more habits, more ambition. But the Stoics understood something that took the greatest minds centuries to articulate. The real transformation begins not with what you add, but with what you are willing to let go of. Quietly, without announcement, without applause. Look honestly at your life right now, not the version you present to others, the real version. The one you experience alone, in the silence before sleep, when the noise fades, and what remains is just you and your thoughts. Most people are carrying weight they never chose to carry. They wake up exhausted, not from work, but from the invisible burdens they refuse to examine, opinions they've borrowed from others, resentments they've nurtured like sacred objects, versions of themselves built to survive past circumstances that no longer exist. The tragedy is not the weight. The tragedy is that most people don't even know they're carrying it. Here is what happens to most people. Something occurs, a criticism, a failure, a comparison, and they react immediately, automatically, as if the gap between stimulus and response doesn't exist, as if they are simply machines, not thinking beings. Pause for a moment. Think about how many decisions in your life have been reactions rather than choices. How many relationships you stayed in out of fear. How many goals you abandoned because someone expressed doubt. How many mornings you spent anxious over problems that belong to other people. The Stoics called this living externally. But when your inner world is governed by what happens outside of you, you are not free. You are simply the effect of other people's causes. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, a journal never intended for public eyes, these words: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was the most powerful man in the Roman Empire. He commanded armies, he ruled millions, and yet his greatest battle was this: learning to govern himself, learning to strip away everything false, everything imposed, everything that weakened his judgment. This is what the Stoics understood about removal. It is not loss, it is precision, like a sculptor who sees the figure hidden inside the stone and removes only what does not belong. Carl Jung observed something profound about the human psyche. He called it the persona, the mask we construct to survive social life. Over time, people forget that the mask is a mask. They begin to identify with it. They defend it. They suffer when it's threatened. Think about this. How much of what you protect about yourself is actually you? And how much is a story you inherited? The psychological trap is attachment to an identity that was never truly yours. The opinions of a parent, the expectations of a culture, the image you built to be accepted by people who may no longer even be part of your life. Removing false identity is perhaps the most terrifying and most liberating thing a person can do. Epictetus was born a slave. He owned nothing, controlled nothing, and yet he became one of the most psychologically free men in recorded history. His insight was simple and devastating. He said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." The mindset shift is this: you do not become powerful by gaining control over the world. You become powerful by becoming ruthlessly clear about what you will and will not allow into your inner world. This is not passivity. This is surgical clarity. Imagine you receive harsh criticism at work. Your instinct is to defend, to justify, to explain. But ask yourself, is the criticism true? If it is, then your ego is offended by your own reflection. If it isn't, then you are about to surrender your peace to a falsehood, or consider social pressure. A group of people you respect is moving in a direction that feels wrong to you. The fear of exclusion is real. Ancient even, humans are tribal creatures, but Seneca warned, retire into yourself as much as possible. The crowd rarely moves toward wisdom. It moves toward noise. Or think about the person who wronged you years ago. Someone you still think about. Someone who has long since moved on. You are not punishing them with your resentment. You are punishing yourself, daily, with a wound you keep reopening. If this perspective is beginning to resonate with you, consider subscribing. These reflections go deeper each week, and the people who stay tend to find that the ideas accumulate into something genuinely life-changing. Socrates spent his entire life asking one question in different forms. Who are you beneath what the world has told you to be? He was executed for asking it too loudly. But the question itself is immortal. Aristotle believed that excellence, what he called eudaimonia, was not a feeling, it was an activity. A continuous act of removing what was base, reactive, and accidental from a life in order to reveal what was essential and noble. These were not motivational ideas. They were existential ones. These men were asking the most serious question a human being can face. What remains when you remove everything that was never truly yours? So now look honestly at your life. What are you holding that belongs to someone else's fear? What habit are you maintaining not because it serves you, but because stopping it would require you to admit something uncomfortable? Who in your life consistently drains your clarity? And why have you not addressed it? These are not rhetorical questions. Sit with them. The discomfort they produce is not a warning to stop. It is a signal that something real is being touched. The people who quietly practice this removal, who strip away borrowed opinions, chronic resentments, false urgency, empty relationships, excessive noise, the need for approval, and the fear of stillness, these people develop something rare, an unshakable interior, a quality of presence that others feel but cannot name, the kind of calm that is not indifference but depth, the kind of confidence that requires no performance because it is rooted in something that cannot be taken. Time reveals everything, and what time reveals consistently is that the people who built inward, who chose depth over display, are the ones who endured. Marcus Aurelius wrote, near the end of his life, something quietly extraordinary. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Not in your achievements, not in your reputation, not in the validation of people whose names you won't remember in 10 years. The 7 things you need to quietly remove from your life are not complicated to identify. They are only difficult to release, because releasing them requires you to trust that what remains, the undecorated, unperformed, quietly disciplined version of you, is enough. It is more than enough. It always was.